All right, here we are again. The last night of my weekend. How you doing today, Bonnie?
Making do. How are you?
I feel really, really good. I don't know why.
Well, you did just get up from a nap, so it always helps when you get some extra sleep.
I slept well today, and good workout. My tonight was my calisthenics night, and it just seemed to go by really well. The sit-ups are really easy to do.
Are you taking it easy on your forearms? You've been really hurting them lately.
Yeah, I haven't played guitar this weekend, which is kind of bad, but I did record a new song and post it
That's not how
earlier
you
today.
posted.
Yeah, I finished writing the fourth and final part of the novel I've been working on since 2022, and posted that today. Had a little trouble posting it so that it was in the right format, but we got it finally. I was going to mention something. Oh shit, I can't remember. What's been going on with you?
I can't think of anything right now.
I had something I was specifically going to say, and now I can't think what the hell it was. I drank the Celestial Seasonings orange, mandarin, and honeybush tea, and my stomach's sloshing around. Shit, I was going to say something. I had it. Oh no, I had it written. I was going to write it down, and then I didn't. Oh, I'll tell you one thing that happened. Meditated really well today, and yesterday.
You had a benchmark of being back to Athens. 2 months now?
Yeah, been back in Athens 8 weeks, and it seems like the 9 years I was on the road is just fading into a dream. I'm beginning to forget people's names that I worked with up there at North Metro.
Good riddance.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Bonnie and I finished watching Monty Python's Life of Brian today,
Yeah.
and Bonnie insisted on watching it with the closed captioning on, and even without it, I was hearing lines I've seen that movie 4 or 5 times, and I've never certain things I never knew were said in the movie.
There were parts of it I didn't even remember. I didn't remember the freaking alien scene. How could you forget that, you know?
When I first saw that movie and the alien scene came on, I thought, this has put this movie just over the top. They have thrown everything in the kitchen sink into this thing. I thought it was wonderful. That whole scene, and then they land right back where they came from.
Exactly where. Yeah. One of the best things about watching Monty Python is all the guys play all these different characters. So from scene to scene, and even within the same scenes, they're playing different characters because the camera goes from one angle to another. It's great. It's amusing.
Yeah, that's one of the similarities with Kids in the Hall, but the difference is the problem with the Kids in the Hall show was it was shot on videotape on like a little sound stage, and there's no breadth to it. Whereas the original Monty Python show, some of it was on soundstage, but some of it was filmed out in the street.
In the fields with bushes blowing up.
Yeah.
And ladies fighting in the mud pits,
It was-
reenacting historical pits.
It was a much wider, I don't know. And you think, wow, they didn't have as much of a budget as Monty Python, but that's not true.
Yeah, all they did was drive around or bicycle around or climb a hill in Nepal, which was actually in Wales, you know?
When I was in, I don't know what year I discovered Monty Python. I actually discovered Fawlty Towers first.
Really?
Yeah. Because the local PBS station played all these old British shows late at night. And I discovered Fawlty Towers late at night, and I thought, this is just wonderful. And then not long after that, they started playing Flying Circus. And so anyway, I'm trying to think what year this would have been. 8th grade, 9th grade, somewhere in there. We're getting close to the Thanksgiving break, and our Bible teacher wanted us to write down 3 things we're thankful for.
Oh, my.
And I wrote down David Letterman, Monty Python, and something else. And when he gathered them all up and he was going to read them aloud in front of the class. And when he got to mine, he said, "Oh, Monty Python, no, they made one of the most blasphemous films ever made." And again, this is the same reaction that they got when the movie came out. People who hadn't seen the movie and only knew the gist of it, thought that it was blasphemous, and it's not. And
No, Jesus even shows up in the thing, and he's giving the whole Sermon on the Mount thing.
and he's played totally straight, yeah.
I remember when Reed was growing up, we had a girl come over from her Girl Scout troop and spend the night, and her mother went, "And no Simpsons." And my response was the response of Matt Groening. I don't get it. Jesus shows up occasionally. God comes down from the heavens. Marge goes to church, chooses God over her own husband. And you have a problem with The Simpsons? They're a nuclear family, for God's sake.
The famous debate with John Cleese and Michael Palin defending the film, and Malcolm Muggeridge, who was a big Catholic, no, I don't want to say apologist, but anyway, and some other dude. And at one point, I think I'm right about this. At one point in the debate, you hear John Cleese or Michael Palin look at the other one and sort of whisper, "They haven't seen it," realizing they didn't even know what they're debating.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Bonnie,
I think that's what makes us good atheists. We were forced to read and study the fucking Bible, so we know what's wrong with it.
that's probably true. Yeah.
I've often wondered if you and I have been brought up outside of that crazy school, outside of forced religion, outside of evangelical Christianity, if you and I would have ended up the types who just went, "Oh, it's safe, we'll take our kids to Bible school and Sunday school, and we'll just pay lip service." But since we had it all forced down our throats, you and I just went, "No way in hell, this is insane."
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I probably would have gotten out of it one way or another, but I probably wouldn't be so hostile to it if I'd been brought up in some sort of soft Christianity.
Yeah, that's true.
You
I mean, consider what happened with my dad. He was brought up in nice Christianity. I mean, even when I was growing up and he would take us down to visit his family, we would go to, the Halloween thing and the summer barbecue and stuff, and it was just nice and fun. But he went to college during desegregation, and he was at Georgia Tech, and his roommate asked him if he wanted to go to church one weekend, First Baptist Atlanta, and he thought, well, I'm away from home. Okay, we'll try it. And they walked over there, and as they were approaching the church, there was a line of picketers out front, and they had the whole thing about the most segregated hour is Sunday mornings in America.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole protest was about, we're all Christians, we should all be under the same roof. And Dad said as he looked across to the entrance to the place, there were these big burly white men on either side of the stairs guarding the entrance to ensure that the white people were the ones who got in, not the blacks. He said at that point it was a turning point for him. He realized they were more interested in building parking lots than building relationships with people. So he walked away at that point. He didn't become hostile until my sister died of COVID because of her crazy religious political beliefs that led her to refuse the vaccine. Then he got hostile.
Okay. Well, I didn't know he was. I didn't know. I thought he was semi-hostile before.
Well, he thought it was absurd and thought they didn't have any business telling you what to do with your life on a number of issues. But he hasn't become overtly hostile until the last couple of years when my sister died.
Trying to think what else. So Bonnie and I we've decided we're gonna work our way through all the Monty Python stuff. Also today we started watching the famous Civilization series by Kenneth Clark from 1969, and the we had seen it originally. The local library had the whole thing on VHS, and we'd rented it a couple of times, watched it. Well, whoever posted this on YouTube, I don't know where they got the copy, but it's a clean copy. And it looks really good, and it's such a well done. One thing that pisses me off, in the comments, people are going, "Oh, you can't show this today. I hear that they're editing this today because it's just not PC enough and it's not woke." I don't see it as being woke or not woke. I just see it as being the traditional viewpoint
that you and I grew up with. But you have to admit that if Peter had walked in the room for some of the things, he would have been critical of it because he was brought up very differently. The idea of a universal global consciousness.
Well, I think that people see, he's saying, well, the West was the font of civilization, and that, his definition of civilization doesn't extend to what he called the opposite of that, which was barbarism. And people go, "Oh, they had a civilization too." He's using the word civilization in a different way. They had a culture, yes. They had organization, yes. But like I pointed out,
ignoring the entire history of China. I mean,
well,
that is
he doesn't even bring it up.
No, he doesn't.
He did mention the Indus Valley as one of the birthplaces of civilization. But see, like I suddenly realized today, civilization is related to the word civility and civil society, and Genghis Khan certainly doesn't fit the idea of civility. So,
well, in his home areas today, they still celebrate him because of his impact upon history. I remember Peter getting upset because one of his high school history teachers was dismissive of it. And I said, well, he did come from that area, that region. I can see why they do it, I mean, you may not agree with the little old ladies who still worship Stalin, but you can kind of understand why they do it. But,
well, you can.
And they have those games with the on horseback, too, that they celebrate. Anyway.
I wish this was a 3-day weekend. I'm in such a good mood. I've barely gotten any painting done. I'm about to start the new issue of the magazine. Going back to drawing. I'm not going to be writing anything again for a long time. Oh dear. Bonnie's scratching my head for some reason.
I'm putting you to sleep.
Pulling more hair out.
There's hair left? You have plenty of hair left.
With my beard shaved, I have such a boyish youthfulness to my face now. It's amazing.
Yeah, you look all of 50 now.
I look younger than 50.
Yes, dear.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
I posted, did I post it or just write it in a letter? I wrote a little commentary. It's on my blog, actually. But it's just about my irritation. It started with this whole flap about Samuel Alito flying the flag upside down in protest or in sympathy with the January 6th riots. And it irritates me that the mainstream media still plays lip service to the idea that, faith and religion are good things. It's just that these wicked people have perverted them for their own ends. It's getting on my last nerve. Because religion, whether it be, soft sort of, we'll all go to heaven one day, or we have the hope of, the immortality or something, or whether it be the hardcore, let's, stone the gays and make our women have 20 babies version. Either way, it is at the root of this extreme partisanship in our politics, and at the root of all the wickedness that the Republicans are getting up to with trying to roll back federal regulations and stop all taxation on the wealthy.
You pointed out something interesting this week. We were watching something or another. It had to do with, was it? Oh, it was probably the civilization thing. They were talking about, oh, they're reviewing the end of Rome is the end of all times, etc. And you noted that their ideas, the modern ideas, the Republican Party, are such that Jesus is coming back. There's nothing
That's
for us
right.
to live for. It's all going to end. Armageddon, blah, blah, blah. And, I mean, my dad pointed out that even James Watt, back under Reagan, he was Secretary of the Interior, said, we don't need to worry about this. Jesus is coming back soon.
Yeah, well, one of the things Kenneth Clark, he doesn't come up with a definite definition of civilization in the show because he says I don't really have a definite definition of it, but here are some of the traits of civilization, and one of them is an aiming for permanence,
Yes.
and an idea of we're going to try to establish something that's going to be permanent. And one of the reasons that the Republicans are against fixing our infrastructure or trying to do things that will create a better future is because they don't even believe we have a future.
Yeah.
They believe, well, Jesus is coming back, so what's the point in trying to help anybody out? As a matter of fact, the worse things get, the sooner Jesus will get here.
Eisenhower highway system. A Republican he was. He's still known for it, that idea. Why would they not want to support a Republican's infrastructure project, maintaining the highway, something that basic?
Well, in today's society, Eisenhower would be portrayed as very leftist. Even Nixon would, to be honest. Nixon was for environmental protection, and he was for.
Oh, yeah.
You remember
They cleaned up, what was it, the Cleveland River? It caught on fire or something at that point.
well,
And they
he
established the EPA under Nixon.
established
didn't they?
Title IX, which was girls should have equal access to sports opportunities.
A lot of different things.
Let's see what time we have. A few more minutes to go. Oh, me. I think we should watch Flying Circus next, straight through. We need to watch Holy Grail again, and we need to watch Meaning of Life again. I don't know how important it is to watch Hollywood Bowl.
Well, we own it now because we bought that 16 DVD set with all of the Monty Python Flying Circus plus the Hollywood Bowl stuff on it. And we
Does it really?
We own Holy Grail. There's even that little add-on at the end where they made the Lego version of the.
I have no interest in seeing
It
that.
was cute. Peter really loved it when we got it.
No, I don't. It's trendy,
And,
modern shit we can avoid.
Well, it's been over 10 years ago. It's not too trendy now.
Yeah, anything that happened after the kids were born, I have no interest in. It's just, civilization just, it's just fallen apart in the last 20 years.
My husband, the curmudgeon.
I'd like to see some of the spin-off stuff. I've never seen any of Rutland Weekend Television. I've never seen but maybe 2 minutes of Ripping Yarns. And I've seen Fawlty Towers to death.
Yeah, that's true. We really have.
Wouldn't mind seeing Jabberwocky again.
Oh, God.
Such a great movie. Ah, you're after my diamonds. It's one of my favorite lines.
Was his love interest in Jabberwocky the woman who played one of the Slovene in the new Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Who would have ever thought she'd have a career?
I know. Oh. What was that? Open All Hours that we used to watch?
Yeah,
The
that
nurse-
was a good show.
The nurse that was on there.
Nurse Gladys Emanuel.
The nurse was also on Doctor Who.
Yeah, a long time ago. The name of the episode was Enlightenment with Peter Davison.
No. She was later on with that late night comedian that's now off the air. James, what's his name? She was on that episode with him.
Linda Barron was on the episode
Yes.
where Matt Smith is living with
Yes, they have the little bitty baby boy, and they talk to the baby boy.
what is his name? James Croden?
James
Corden. What?
Corden? Yeah.
What is his name?
James.
I did not like his show. I don't like
Neither
him
like
at
him.
all. I didn't know she was in that. She played a pirate sort of character in Enlightenment. There were these beings that had a race in space, and the prize was some sort of enlightenment or something.
All the different crossovers in British television that we appreciate.
Yeah.
Ray could tell us exactly what the title was, and she's such a fan of Doctor Who. She still has an entire bookcase in her apartment that is dedicated to all things Doctor Who. Novels and
Who would have thought all those years ago
Audio.
when I was a kid,
magazines.
I bought one VHS tape a month or something, and I used it to tape Doctor Who off PBS, and showed those to the kids, and they were little, and
Well, you became an addict.
it's amazing what your consequences of your actions will be. Well,
I couldn't believe how much I got into Doctor Who.
you watched those tapes while you were pregnant with Reed.
Yeah. And I would do the ooh. I
How
always
weird.
joke that she heard it inside the womb.
Oh, she was such a cute little baby.
God, I miss her.
Well, I think that's probably going to be about it. I need to make this video and post it and get back to painting. I need to make some serious work this weekend.
I think my melatonin might be kicking in, so.
Okay, I need to take some in the morning, make sure I remember.
I'll try.
All right, so good night. That's about it.
Good night.
Okay, see you later, everybody.